Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my subscribers lesson. It's Sunday morning here in the UK, and our local time is 5:28 a.m. As you might be aware, this is another subscriber lesson. It's all about Ielts exam. So, dear folks, Ielts exam is not only an exam about English learning, but also an exam for learning rubrics, how you can be knowledgeable, how you can know those tips and techniques and apply it in your speaking, apply it in your writing and reading and listening, obviously, and you can get your desired good scores. So let's move on, guys. So this is second conditional. In second conditional, we can use it to talk about something in the present which is impossible because it's not true. Before that, we like to discuss these two words, close and house.
Close. Close.
Okay, guys. So, what are the impacts with these two words? Both, if you can see close and house, there is s at the end. These two words uh, can be used in both verb as well as noun. So it should sound like Z, the S, when it is used as verb, but when it's noun, there is S sound. Close and close. Similarly, house and house. And we have to be careful because sound is very much important matter, especially when we are trying to pronounce the word correctly. So I suggest that when you are not sure about any word, you can check from the dictionary by visiting the specific dictionary, not from the Google. Okay, like Oxford or Cambridge or maybe Merriam-Webster or maybe Collins or any other valid dictionary. And you can always listen to the sound from there, and possibly you can get it cross-checked from there, from that source, where you'll be able to understand the difference, understand the accurate sound, and you can try to imitate or follow the shadowing technique to pronounce it and present by yourself. Okay, so Davis, welcome once again. We are discussing yesterday about the conditional sentence 2. So what is conditional sentence 2? Have a look at this example. If I had his number, I would call him. If I had his number, I would call him. So I don't have his number, so it's impossible for me to call him. Okay. And very often you say, if I could, I would do that. If I know the answer, I could respond to you. So this is another important feature of second conditional, is that in second conditional, we talk about something in the present which is not possible or which is not true. Um, so these are some other ways to explain. I would call him if I had his number. When I had his number, I would call him. I would call him when I had his number. Okay, next one. Next one is, if I were you. Okay, if I were you. Is it where or where? Where? If I were you, I were. Were. If I were you, I wouldn't go out with that man. So if you just change the other way around, I wouldn't go out with that man if I were you. Okay. So that is another example. If you studied well, you'd get good result. So this is another example. If you studied well, you'd get good results. No doubt. Hello everyone, welcome. Okay, no problem. You take care, one. Thanks for coming here and letting me know. Okay, I'm explaining conditional, sentence because Stella is another learner here who joined from Korea, who is planning to sit for the Ielts exam. So I started explaining conditional yesterday. We're going to finish the conditional, sentence, conditional 3 or third conditional. So I was giving some examples, second conditional. If you wrote first, you'd finish on time. Okay, if you read more, you'd pass the exam. Okay, third conditional. Honestly, I'm waiting for Stella. If she's here, it would be better to explain it. So, third conditional is used to express the past consequence of an unrealistic action in situation in the past. So, the difference between the second and third conditional is second conditional describes the possibility of present and future, whereas third conditional always expresses the past consequence of unrealistic situation. Okay, that's the difference. Though they've got almost similar structure, but they've got different, you know, uh, different kinds of grammar structure as well. We often use the third conditional to express regret, describe things are sorry happened or didn't happen. Like if my alarm had not gone off, I wouldn't have been late today, work today. For example, if my alarm had not gone off, I wouldn't have been late to work. So that is the pattern. Had, that is past participle, and would not have been. So if my alarm had not gone off, once again, I wouldn't have been late to work. Second one, if there had been so much traffic, we wouldn't have missed our flight. Okay. So we make the third conditional by using the past perfect after if and when, then would have, past participle in the second part of the sentence. So if subject, past perfect, would, could have, past participle other words. Okay, guys. Let me see. Okay. Before we explain a little bit more, if you remember, for all the conditional situations, we need to know the present, past, and past participle, especially regular and irregular verbs. And I'm sure, guys, you know that what are regular and irregular verbs? That asked, helped, Help, put. Cut, cut. Read, read, read. And the irregular verbs, common verbs, I've given some examples. Go, went, gone. Do, did, done. Buy, bought. Okay. And how about catch, caught, caught,
Caught.
caught,
Caught.
caught. Actually, it is a bit to caught. It says here that is a long sound. Caught,
Caught.
caught. Past tense of catch. Okay. Then been. Have you ever been to London, for example? Very often we use this sentence. Then worked, worked. So work, if we like to say like the American way, work, worked, worked. Okay. Then dreamt. Also, third condition talks about the past. It is to describe situation that didn't happen, to imagine the result of the situation. One example I've just given earlier is saying if she had studied well, she would have passed the exam. So, in another way, it can be expressed if she would have passed the exam. Oh, sorry, she would have passed the exam if she had studied well. And we know that really she didn't study, so she didn't pass. If I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't have felt sick. Okay, but I ate a lot. I did feel sick. I'm sick, for example. Next one is if we had taken a taxi, we wouldn't have missed the plane or flight. Okay, so she would have become a teacher if she had gone to a university. It should be not gone to university. Must use an article. He'd have been on time for the interview if he had left the house. House. One second, guys. Remember, house with S is noun, Z is verb. So we need to be careful when you're pronouncing this word. Do you mean a verb? Do you mean noun? I'm sure it means noun, so it is house, sa, and house, Z. Similarly, close. Okay. And common sound, minimal pair. Bad, bed, Batman, bet. Okay, next one. If I hadn't slipped on the floor, I wouldn't have broken my arm. Would, the word would often contracted with comma D. Okay, by native speakers, and it's also acceptable to use in this informal writing. And in speech, it is common to contract, like have to ebb in the third conditional. For example, if I'd have come to the meeting if you tell me. I would have come to the meeting if you had tell me. Because you didn't tell me, so I didn't come to the meeting. However, we can write this even in the informal context. It is useful to be aware of it, though, so you can identify if you didn't identify it when native speakers say it. As an alternative to would, we can complete the second part of the third sentence with could. If I'd stayed at university, I could have got a master's degree. For example, if I had, if I'd, if I'd remember, I had, I would, they're contracted in informal and spoken English, and it is acceptable though. But generally, in formal English, we do not contract any word. That is an important information for the IELTS the candidates and many other candidates who like to develop their communication skill. Okay, here are some other examples for third condition. He'd have got the job if he hadn't been so nervous in the interview. What would you have done if you had been me? It's really a difficult situation. If I hadn't, if it hadn't, sorry, not I hadn't, if it hadn't been snowing heavily, we'd have carried on skiing. The company would have survived if there hadn't been a recession. Would you have accepted the offer if you had reduced the price? There's, oh, welcome back. One, testing. 13 minutes gone already. One, no worries. Feel free. Okay. If you hadn't invited me, I would have stayed in all day. Okay. She wouldn't have given you a fine if you had apologized. Where is he gone? Apologized. Apologized. If they hadn't won the match. Okay, one is back, I think. Hello.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, one.
Waalaikumsalam. Hi, teacher. Hi.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm watching you just now using my mobile because I couldn't hop on, couldn't log in using my laptop. So now I managed to log in using my laptop.
Okay, that's really cool.
Okay.
So, how is your family doing?
Okay. Yesterday I was busy because I have like a gathering for the uh commissioner of oath, for the Malaysian commissioner of oath. It's like a gathering for the new appointment.
Mm.
So we gather together. We have an event together yesterday. So I had to attend that ceremony. So I couldn't join class.
Yeah, you are a responsible person, so you need to attend this type of official gathering. That's
Yes.
okay. Yesterday, we have got another learner, Stella, who joined from Korea. I don't see her
Mhm.
today. She is going to sit for IELTS exam. So she asked me to give some. She needs some practice on speaking only. So if you
Mm.
remember in IELTS exam, in speaking part, there are three tasks: task one, two, and three. Okay. However, she sat for the exam, I think in September, and she got six. She she said she has to get 6.5 for her admission or the scholarship program.
6.5. The maximum score for Ielts exam?
Exam maximum score is 9.
9. 6.5 considered excellent, right, Teacher Rahat?
7.5 is the amazing and excellent we say around the world. But when you're studying in some universities or some institutes, they might ask less score.
Oh.
7.5 is, I should say, most acceptable standard if you're applying for a PhD program or for a postgraduate program, for a scholarship or training or registration. Okay.
7.5. Okay. I don't have knowledge about IELTS exam.
Okay. Do you need to know? I can explain briefly. So in IELTS
Mm.
exam, there are two tests. One is academic, another is general. As you can see from the name, academic tests are required to get your assessment about your English language. There are four modules. They assess listening, reading, writing, speaking, and both general and academic tests are same, except two parts. And general test is required if you want to migrate to English-speaking countries for working, like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and some European countries. And they are different in reading and writing. So, what is reading? Reading means they've got a paragraph. In academic test, there are academic paragraphs, okay, which is related to the a bit advanced vocab, grammar structure,
Mm.
and writing. In general writing, there are two types of tasks in writing: task one and task two. For general writing, task one is either you have to write an application or a letter, minimum 150 words in 20 minutes, and number four is like an essay. Uh, you will be given 40 minutes and you have to write at least 250 words.
Oh.
Okay, whereas in academic task one, you have to develop a paragraph from maybe an abstract like a graph or pie chart. Okay, if you have time,
Mm.
maybe I could show you one sample, so that you can understand. And similarly, 20 minutes, 150 words, and the task two is similarly again 40 minutes, 250 words.
Oh.
Okay, both listening part in IELTS exam, there would be 40 questions, and there are three types of questions they ask. One is general statement, you have to rephrase it from the answer. Another one is two people are speaking, and third one is they're going to describe it like a weather report or a news report. You have to find the answer. Okay, and second part, as I says, reading 1 hour. In academic reading, there are three paragraphs, 40 questions again, uh, 1 hour. And then writing, two tasks, 1 hour. And speaking is the last part. And for the general test, similarly in reading part there will be five small, reading paragraphs. Again, 40 questions, 1 hour. And writing is similarly task one and task two,
Mm-hmm.
an hour. And speaking is same. So speaking part is most of the people say difficult part, but some people say no, writing is a difficult part. It depends, how comfortable you are about writing or reading. So in reading, there are some techniques you have to follow when you're reading. You have to be knowledgeable about vocabulary, and also you have to understand the concept of any paragraph. And for writing, you need to practice and get it checked, because most of the times our learners are not able to understand whether they're writing correctly or not. Similar in speaking part, in writing and speaking, students need help, because this is one of the common questions. My many of my students ask me, teacher, how do I know my writing is correct or not, my speaking is correct or not? So if you are good at grammar in writing, possibly you can find out your own mistake. But if you're not, in that case, I suggest those students, it's better you subscribe to a competent and qualified teacher who can explain and from where you can learn. Okay, and the last part is speaking task one, task two, and task three. Maybe if you have time, we can give some demo with you. So task one is simple questions like where, and task one is also recorded in an audio device as a uh, proof or evidence that you have set for the exam. They ask basic question like your name, where are you from, where are you taking test. Then they ask questions like, common question like, tell me something about global warming. What do you understand by it? What are the possible
Mm.
solutions? Okay.
Oh,
Or maybe they can ask you, tell me about the transportation systems of your country. Or maybe tell me something about you're planning to do in the future to develop your situation. Okay. And then task two uh, is a cue card, where people say that it's difficult. So cue card is like a small card where you'll see question and answer. Let me give you one demo of cue card. Okay,
okay.
hang on a second. There is, okay, like describe a present or gift you have given someone. Okay, so the teacher will give you 1 minute to think and organize your idea, and after the teacher or the examiner will ask you now start speaking. All right, so you have to cover these questions. You should say what you gave it to, who you gave it to, what kind of present it was, how it compared to other presents you have given. Explain why you decided to give this particular gift.
Do
Uh,
we need to answer it orally, or we need to put it in writing
no, speaking
for
is the speaking
speaking?
task, and I have to speak only.
Okay.
All right. Remember that in Ielts exam there are four criteria for your marking. Number one, how do they mark? Your fluency and coherence. So I'm sure you understand by the word fluency. Fluency means having a conversation about a topic without any difficulties, without pause, not too fast, not too slow. Okay, this is called fluency. Then number two is you are going to get 25% marks for grammatical accuracy and a wider range of using grammar. You'll get another 25% lexical resources. So what does it mean? Lexical resources mean vocabulary like synonyms, antonyms, phrasal verbs, maybe idioms, okay, or phrases, how you can use well or demonstrate in your speaking. Right. The last part is pronunciation. You don't get any marks whether they have got an accent or not, but if you have got good pronunciation, you need to you are going to get 25% marks. Okay.
Okay. It's a tough question, tough test.
Yeah, it's kind of, but when people practice, when I gave the clues, this is the way you can get good mark, then they improve. And many of my students took the exams, and they got quite good scores. 8.5 was the highest out of 9.
Oh.
All right, so that is all about IELTS. And also, in IELTS, especially task 3 is the advanced part where they ask different questions like conditional. There would be two common questions. One is related to the grammar tense, and another is related to the conditionals tense. Okay, conditional sentence. So conditional is like a hypothetical situation when it goes like a condition. As I was explaining earlier, let me give you the example. I always ask this common question. Hang on a second, let me show you. The common question is like, if you were this is just similar types of pattern, the prime minister of your country, what three major problems would you resolve? Okay. Another basic clue is one, in IELTS exam, you'll get maybe 30 to 40 seconds to answer every question. So you have to answer this like in 30 to 40 seconds. Okay. Do you have any questions? Sorry, I'm just explaining IELTS exam. Any questions from the last classes? If,
Mm,
if you remember, you asked me something. Be and become. Did you get the difference?
uh, a bit, a bit. I will. I can see the difference now. If you want to explain now, also I can.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
If you can give me an example that about the be or become, then we can go from there.
Sometimes I get confused whether um what is the best way for us to use be and become. Like I want to be a doctor, I want to become a doctor. Which one is correct? And sometimes I need to check back your explanation. It is long. I just read it in a glance. I need to go through that so that I can understand it well, understand it more.
Okay. Be is actually it's very difficult sometimes to differentiate. The only example is that, look, hang on a second, I'm going to write it here. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor, yeah? I want to become a doctor, but we don't use I want to become a doctor generally.
Mm.
Okay? Become means when things happened already, changing. And be means when you're planning something, want to, in the future. Like this sentence would be correct. I became a doctor after studying. It explains that things or your situation changed. Though in
Mm.
spoken English we use both. Okay, I became a doctor last year, for example. And in many cases we will not be able to use be, like especially if it is passive voice. We use be, okay, and also in future continuous tense, like I will be doing this job tomorrow, or I'll be watching movie with him. Okay, you cannot use become like here. Let me get the explanation. I send it to you. Could you please give me another example one?
Before that, Teacher Rahat, can I ask you a question? Is there any difference if he says that I will be doing this job tomorrow, I will do this job tomorrow, or we can use either one when you want to express that? kind of situations.
Okay, now what does it mean? I will do this job tomorrow. What do you understand?
Mm, uh, I plan to do the job tomorrow. I will. For me, it's quite similar.
Okay, but remember that when the verb has got ing, this one, that means that something is going to happening. You plan to do a job tomorrow, but you don't know whether you'll start it or not. But when somebody says, "I'll be doing this job tomorrow," mean uh, they'll be doing as a progression, as a continuous form. Okay, so like if you say what do you like to do tomorrow? I'll go to my office, but you don't know whether you'll be really able to go to your office or not. For example, if you become
Mhm.
sick or unwell, you'll not be able to go to the office. But if you say that I'll be going to the office tomorrow, that means you have already planned it will be happening tomorrow at this time. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why it's called continuous or progressive in tense wise. When something is still happening or will be happening in the future, like for example, like you're listening to my conversation, so it is present continuous or progressive.
Mm,
Is it clear? Similarly, when it's changed to past, like I was listening to his class last year or yesterday. In the future, similarly, I'll be listening to your class next Monday or next Sunday, whatever the day.
okay. Got it.
So that's the basic difference. Okay.
Got it. Yes.
Okay. Now look at the another difference. I was angry and I became angry. Another difference. Yeah, where you got confused. Be verb is also be is also meaning be verb. Okay, like am, is, are, was, were, been, and also being. These are the simplified way to explain be verb. Look at this word. I was angry. I became angry. What's the difference you find from these two sentences?
Mm, I was angry
And I
is to
mhm,
okay. I was angry is to describe the feelings of that I was angry in the past.
mhm.
So I became angry. So to describe that, before that I was not angry, but suddenly I got angry because of something happened.
Exactly. Now you got the point. So become and became explains the changing of situations. Something happened and it made you upset and angry. Like I
Okay,
became angry when I saw that this person was really not doing good things. Okay.
got it.
Or if you say you're already angry, I was angry. Okay, I was angry to find out that this is not happening.
Mm,
Though in broader aspect there is a bit tiny difference, but sometimes generally it may seem to be same. But remember, become or became we use when something changed, rather than in when we say I was angry as old lady. You were angry from the beginning. I was angry and upset because nobody listened to me. Now look at this
okay.
sentence pattern. I became angry and upset because nobody listened to me. Almost same meaning. So in some
Mm,
situation they have got similar meaning. Okay,
okay.
and they are interchangeable. And some situation they are not interchangeable at all. Like I'll be doing this job tomorrow. We cannot say I'll become. doing. Okay, so that it will be weird. There is no such a grammar rule.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Okay, any other question we'd like to discuss?
Mm, okay. One more thing, Teacher Rahat. It is to describe possession in the past. So, I still remember that you says that in order to describe possession, we can use like this. I didn't have a bike. I didn't have a bike. Is it correct to say that I had not had a bike, or it is wrong?
It is wrong. In grammar, we
Mm.
don't say like this. I not.
So
I had not have. No, I didn't have.
I didn't have. Okay. I had not have a bike. Is that also wrong?
I would like to have a bike. Okay, if you can say that I like to have a bike or I want to have a bike means it may mean two situation. You like to buy a bike maybe, or like to get a bike from someone else. If you say I want to have a bike,
Mm,
so here's that sentence. I had a bike. Where had means possessions. Okay. Now if you want to make
mm.
it negative,
I didn't have a bike.
yeah, when it is a possession. But if you use as a auxiliary or helping verb, like I had eaten my dinner. Oh, sorry. What are you writing? I'm sorry. I had eaten my dinner. Okay, so if you want to make this sentence as a negative, I had not eaten in that case my dinner.
Okay.
Okay, because here
Okay.
had has been used as an auxiliary or helping verb. Sometimes they're called linking verb as well. When one verb links to one verb to the subject, or maybe one verb to the another verb.
Got it.
So we need to understand the concept of the sentence, what it means. Does it mean a possession or does it mean, helping verb or linking verb?
Okay.
Any other question? Any other confusions? Let's discuss and learn from it.
That's all for now.
Okay. And if you want to know a little bit more, maybe you can go for test IELTS. IELTS task one test is very amazing. It's like an interview. I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer it. Would you like to do that?
Can. Okay.
All right. That's really cool. Okay, hang on a moment, please. So the first question is generally like this. Welcome to the IELTS speaking task one. What's your name?
My name is Juan.
Okay, here is a big catch. In IELTS exam, you have to say your first name and last name. You see, and then you have to tell how people, address you. Okay. So most of the cases, the people say that my name is, say, what's your last name? One.
My full name is Muhammad Rizwan bin Haji Mohidin. It's quite long.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Rizwan. Mm.
So you can answer like this. My full name is Muhammad Rizwan Haji Mohidin.
Yes.
But people call me as one, especially my family members and parents. So this is the answer, ideal answer.
Mm,
Okay, first name, second name, and also if you have a nickname or pet name, you can add it. Then the second question generally they ask, why did you sit for the exam? What's the reason?
mm, I I'm taking the IELTS exam because I want to further my study to overseas.
Yes, that's most of the cases answer that I'm trying to get a scholarship or immigrate or study overseas? And have you already contacted any university?
Mm, not yet.
Okay. So, do you know how much score you might need for your studying program? In that case, you need to find it from the university website. Like for undergraduate, most of the cases the score is in between 5 to 5.5. Okay. For the graduate programs, the scores are like 6, maybe sometimes 6.5. In post-graduation program, it is generally 6.5 to 7 or above. Okay, but for the scholarship, training, registration, and many other professions like healthcare sectors like doctors, nurses, pharmacists, or lawyers, you need it, you need to have 7.5 in academic.
7.5.
That's a very standard score.
Mm.
Okay, then you tell like this. I contacted my university and I was confirmed that I needed to have 6.5. Okay,
Okay.
and I'll speaking task, as I said, you need to be more natural way of speaking. That's why they're going to assess your speaking marks in the speaking task. And what happens most of the cases, many of our learners become shy, nervous. And if you become nervous in interview, it's like an interview, speaking task, then you're not going to be able to express yourselves clearly. So you need to be brave enough and you need to be confident.
Mm.
And okay, then next question maybe like, how did you come to this interview today? Tell me one. How did you attend my lesson?
Mm. How should I answer that? What's the question, Teacher Rahat? How did I attended your?
Yeah, how did you join my lesson? Tell me from your point of view. Then I'm going to explain what are the rubrics. How did
Oh,
you join my lesson?
how did I join your lessons? Can you please rephrase the meanings of the questions? I got it wrongly.
Okay, the meaning is that you have subscribed to my lesson. And how did you subscribe to my lesson?
Oh, is it why I subscribe to your lessons?
Yes. And how? Why would be coming later? How and why? Remember, in IELTS exam, the very amazing tip is that you need to understand the question first before you attempt the answer. In every
Mm.
question, there is a pattern and there is a grammar tense. You need to reply in the same way. Look at my question pattern. How did you subscribe my lesson? And why did you subscribe my lesson is two different things. You see, do not be confused. Number one. Number two, both of these questions are based in past tense. Like, how did you subscribe to my lesson? And then, why did you subscribe to my lesson?
Okay. Mm, okay. In order to, I don't know whether I answered it correctly or not. I give a try. So in order to subscribe a lesson using Hello, you need to buy a you need to buy Hello coin first,
Hmm.
and it would cost you. And now it's no more Hello coins. Um, it is you need to pay. It depends on the teachers. Some of the teachers is $10 for 1 month,
Hmm.
and there are a few teachers I see in the Hello apps, which is $12. And for you to subscribe for a teacher, normally you need to pay $10 for a month using the uh, Hello coins. You pay to the teachers, and they will deduct your coins whenever you subscribe to the teacher. Ayo.
Yeah, your answer is more or less correct. So so your answer would be more ideally like this. In order to join any teacher on Hello, you need to subscribe. Then you have given me the examples. So how do you add your Hello Cash?
Mm, uh, there are a few options. For myself, I think I use my credit card to buy the Hello Cash.
Okay, so that's a good answer. Uh, so now next question, you said, why did you subscribe to my lesson or class?
Mm, Actually, I've been following Teacher Rahat for quite some times, and I was advised by I did ask my friend whether my friend could suggest me a good teacher in teaching grammar in Hello apps, and my friend proposed to me for me to subscribe for Teacher Rahat, and I've been following him even though I'm not subscribed to him before, and I found that um I'm talking to you actually.
No, this I'm listening to
Teacher
you.
Haq is a good teacher. Is a good teacher, and quite enthusiastic in teaching, very eager, and had a lot of live stream teaching about culture, about environment, about East London, whatsoever. And I learned a lot of things from his live stream before
Okay,
I subscribed to Teacher Rahat.
great, good answer. That's fine. So this is the way in IELTS exam the test took place. You answered it well. So you have to understand the question, then you answer. And also in IELTS, another technique is do not be limited to yes and no. Like, though it might have been an indirect implication, like if I say, what's your favorite movie one?
I like to watch a comedy movie.
And when was the last time you watched a comedy movie? And what's its name?
Mm, I think the I couldn't remember, but the English last English comedy movie that I watched was uh, from Mr. Bean. I
Oh,
couldn't remember the name. Johnny English. Johnny
Johnny
English.
English. All right.
Johnny English.
Do you know the full name of Mr. Bean?
No, I don't know.
Okay. And another technique is that in IELTS exam and general interview, even if you don't know the answer, you simply say, sorry, I don't know, but I like to know it in the future. So make the
Mm,
negative into positive impact. This is
I
another
see.
technique. And this technique is also important if you're having a job interview. And don't expect that you will be able to answer all of the questions. Some questions are so hard, it's not possible for a candidate to know. So similar types of questions would maybe asked in the IELTS exam, and you say, "Oh, simply, sorry, I don't know, but I would like to know later."
Yeah, that's a good technique, sir. I learned something.
Okay, yeah, this is the called.
You can take escapism in a good way, in a proper way.
That's right. And also in IELTS exam, they measure your fluency. So in order to measure influence, I have to give you a topic. We have got still 3 minutes. You have to
Oh,
talk at least 2 minutes, okay, about any topic. Like describe a book you got as a gift from your friend.
describe a book.
Yeah, or describe a gift you got from your book, from your friend or relative. So you need to talk at least 2 minutes.
Wow.
Okay, so the clues are like this. One, what kind of gift you got, when, why, and who gave it to you, and how did you feel it, and any other information.
Okay. Uh, I got a book name. It's quite hard. I got a book named Seven Habits from my wife. She gave it the book to me as a present for my birthday, and she gave the book to me because she knows that I love reading motivational books a lot. It just less than 1 minute. The book price was around, I think, $50. $50 ring, $50, and she bought that book from the very well-known bookstore in Malaysia, which is called Popular. Is it correct to answer like that, Teacher Rahat?
Yeah, that's right. You're doing great. Don't worry. Yeah, what happens, for the first time when people start speaking, they can't speak
Mhm.
more than 30 to 40 seconds. After that, they become nervous suddenly. So that's why we need to have practice, through these lessons. Many of my learners practice with me, and I just give them feedback. So you have to focus these and this. So yeah, we are doing
Mm,
well. Remember, the question is in past tense. So
in past
one
tense.
important matter about using past tense is many of our learners are confused how they can use
Yeah.
past tense in every sentence. Like if I ask you this question, describe a childhood memory. Now you are an adult, your childhood is gone, so it's past.
Yes.
So
Yes.
most of the students do like this. I'm going to describe my childhood memory. When I was child, I play with my classmates. So this is an incorrect sentence. I play. I used to play. You can say, or I played.
Just now I didn't use past time, right, Teacher Rahat?
No, no.
Just
You
now.
have used past tense. Yes, I'm giving examples for
Oh,
other people. And
yes.
sometimes
Yes.
they become nervous for no reason because when they think it's a test, oh, what I'm going to answer. So that's why it needs practice, and I always show and explain the tips and strategies and the rubrics we call it in academic term, how you can become a good speaker and you can get good score. Okay, one.
Okay. 1 minute more.
Yeah, and also in IELTS exam we advise record your voice in your mobile phone. You choose a topic and speak 2 minutes, and then you can listen. This is a
Mm,
very proven technique. Okay, thank you very much. One, it's going to be finished in 19 seconds. So if you've got
okay.
any more questions and comments, always write in the chat section. I'll be happy to answer you. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much, Teacher Rahat.
You're very welcome. You take care. I'll see you
Okay.
next lesson. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.